to roll. Hope we are all good, team. Welcome to another Q&A. We're going to be working through typical business advice, bit of a question and answer around some of the things that we've been working through as a team. I'm rocking the old school TBH Bootcamps t-shirt today. Thought I'd throw back where we came from, a humble beginning. So plenty of things that we can be answering, and I want to start with, so basically what I always do is before I prep before any of these streams is get one prepped in terms of the questions that have come up from me personally in my life over the last few weeks, but also secondly, I'd pull together like a massive scrape of everything that's been going through in our meetings, everything that's been going through in coaching that we do, especially in terms of what's been spoken about between staff and between myself. So I have that automatically running on Claude, and Claude paired with Fathom, which again scrapes every single meeting that we do and then brings it together in a very manageable content flow. The big thing to kind of start us off with is really it's going to be around kind of how to know when you're ready to quit the 9 to 5. And I think I wanted to start off with by talking about like how I knew that I was never going to work a 9 to 5 in my life. And I think the first things first is to ask yourself, do you like to be told what to do? Are you a follower or are you a leader? And I think straight away I'm certainly not someone that wants to be told what to do. Again, I'm very happy to be given advice, but am I someone that wants to be told exactly what I want to be doing and what I should be doing at exactly certain points of the day and parts of my life? And no, that was my answer to that straight away. So instantly for me, I knew that I'm never going to be a follower. Now, how do I know that I didn't want to be doing the 9 to 5? Well, I think that then links back to what do you want to be doing with your life? I think certainly for me, because I've always come from coaching, and with coaching, you're typically always working split shifts. You're either doing the early morning block or that evening block, and potentially weekends. So I've never really worked a normal 9 to 5 anyway. And the thought for me of kind of sitting in an office from literally, like I said, 9 to 5, but most jobs are like 8 to 6 anyway, from 8 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night just gives me shivers running down my throat. I know I'm here sitting in an office, my own office now, but like, again, that feeling which I had kind of made me feel a bit like, oof, this isn't for me. So I think the first question you need to ask yourself, on top of whether you want to do it, is how does it sit on your chest? Is that a thing that kind of scares you? Is it a thing that kind of makes you feel a bit like, oof, a bit stressed, a bit worried? Does it, especially if you're slightly younger, you're coming into the workforce between that kind of 14 to 16 age group, like that there, you should be, you can and probably will be starting to notice what actually feels right for you as a person. And I'd honestly say you will know by that point. Like if you're someone that really doesn't like being told what to do, you've got to start your own thing, whatever it is. Whether you're someone who wants to follow your passion, like for you guys in the stream at the moment, like what's the thing that you would love to start a business and actually work with? For me, again, it's always been coaching. I was a swimming coach initially. I moved from swimming teaching into actual coaching. That kind of culminated in me going to uni, and that uni experience where I dabbled in multiple different sports. That's when I knew that helping people, doing coaching, was the thing that I wanted to do. At no point did I ever go, do you know what, I'd love to just sit back and sit in my office. And again, I know it's hilarious because this is what I'm doing now, but at no point did I ever want to kind of do that. So if you feel that drive and if you feel that urge to go and actually do something, do it in an area where you feel confident. Again, another thing that we spoke about when I was kind of thinking about why I wanted to get into coaching was actually nothing to do with coaching at all. I just wanted to work in sport. And so why not work in an area that I actually want to be in? Like, why would I not want to do that? So yeah, I think going back to the question of how do you know if you're actually built for the 9 to 5, or actually how do you know you're ready to escape the 9 to 5? If you feel that crushing feeling sitting on your chest every single time that you have to get up and go to the office, then you know it's your time to start building an exit. That's what I'd say. And look at this. Look at the stream absolutely popping off. We've got Mr. JP in the building, Lois here, Laura here, Jojo here, Dan here. How are we, team? I'm answering all things business, all things advice, all things around kind of where we're at. So yeah, feel free just to pepper anything that you want into this chat. Bridget Ann is here. How are you, Bridget Ann? Tay, hello Tay. Matt, good to see you. HB, how are you, mate? So yeah, anything that you feel that you want to ask, this is your time to do it. I will happily give you free advice, and trust me again, like I want to, my boy, Shortback and Sonic the Hedgehog. I will happily sit and help you guys out here for the next hour. For context, I own a gym in Nottingham. You know, we're in a position where it is doing everything it needs to do. And again, whether that is business advice, whether it's coaching advice, you ask me. Matt, how are you, mate? Good to see you in the building. Love the little mini roast here to get us started. So yeah, any other question, guys, feel free to drop it in there. Oh, yes. My other superstar is in here as well. Lils, how are you, Lils? How are you, mate? Ginstone, good to see you in here as well. Okay, this is a bit of a wishy-washy question, but I think actually it's a helpful bit of advice for you guys to understand how to trust your gut. So the question is, I don't actually love the question here. The question is, how do you learn to trust your gut? And I think for a lot of people, you're going to have that intuition to start with, but the key is being able to expose yourself to situations where you can repeatedly get into it over and over and over again, because the more experience that you're going to have in certain situations, the more ability you're going to be able to say, okay, that doesn't look right. And actually, if that doesn't look right, well, what are the signs, first of all? Okay, is something off with that person? You know, can you tell they're not digging what you're saying? Are they listening to you? You know, if I'm speaking from people here, because that's generally where my expertise would lie. Are they listening to what you're saying? Are they buying in? Because when you start noticing those little things, which again, with experience and with time, you will start to see, that's when you can start trusting your gut. And again, I know it's a very wishy-washy thing to say, but trusting your gut is going to come from instinct, first of all, because again, as human nature, you can be able to tell what people are, but like instinct comes from years of evolution, and years of evolution obviously is experience. And so by seeing lots and lots of things, you're going to be able to trust your gut in a far better way than someone who, you know, just kind of wing it. And again, like, you're going to get lucky sometimes. That's fine. But can you expose yourself to as many things as possible to be able to then trust your gut? And that's the skill there. But yeah, I think it's quite a tricky one to answer with that. Gaki, how are you? Linda Jones, how are you? Cactus, yes, Cactus, good to see you in here. Cactus, what have you got to ask? Have you got anything that you want to chuck in here? Because I love that you're liking. We're at 458 likes, guys. I'll take that. Absolutely take that. So chuck in kind of what you guys are thinking. Any thoughts on the last the point that we were talking through? If there is, now is your time to do it. Linda Jones, I hope you're well, Linda Jones, as well. Thank you so much for jumping on here. Yeah, guys, look, like I said, anything that you want to have answered, it is now your time to ask it. Like I said, I've prepped plenty to go through in this situation. Cactus, I like it. You're going to take us to almost 1,000 likes here, so I will very much appreciate that if we can make it all the way. Hans Simambo, good to see you. So, next question is another decision-making question. This is something that probably actually I've got a lot better at in time. So the question is how to finally make the decision you've been putting off for a while. How to finally make that decision. Well, okay. So first of all, like, well, what's halting you? What's stopping you from making that decision? Is it fear? Okay, essentially. Is it, again, the lack of information? Is it you're not certain? Is it you're feeling emotional around this? What is stopping you from making that decision? So that's, I think, the first thing to walk through with yourself, and is to come up with a process to be able to make better decisions. Because I think for me, from a personal experience, the reason I don't make decisions, or any time where I've maybe struggled to make a decision in the past, that's because I've had a lack of information. So the lack of information is normally the thing that's always held me back. So first of all, how do I then give myself the ability to get more information? Okay, so if we can control that and find a way to get more information in, that is going to be able to allow you to make a better decision and also make you a quicker decision. Because beyond that, it's then a you problem. You know, if you have all the information, if you have everything you need, well, then that's going to come back down to you. So can you make can you make the decision on your own? And if you can't, well, then you've got to walk through this next framework of, well, what actually is then holding you back? Are you afraid to hurt the person's feeling? Are you afraid that it's going to hurt your own progress? If you've established whether it is a personal problem, or if it is a potential problem that you're struggling to kind of work through with someone else, well, then the next thing that I like to go towards is, well, what are you holding the person back from, or yourself from, if you do not make that decision? Well, that's the next thing in there. And so if you're able to then work through that problem, it's then down to, okay, well, how then do you get to the next stage? And honestly, if you can work through those three processes, well, then you're basically there. I think I'd always come back to, how much information do you have? Do you have enough information to take a punt? And if you do, then great. So, old Saka boy, elite waffle. Come on then, what do you want to ask me, mate? I appreciate you, always. I've always got time for anyone that comments on there, even if you're absolutely hammering me on the stream. Saka, what have you got to say? See if I can provide more elite waffle for you. Okay, what else we got? The advice that would have saved me years. The advice that would have saved me years. Here we go. What else have we got on here? I mean, we're at 1.3k likes. Cactus, you're absolutely flying here. Absolutely flying. Amy, how are you, Amy? So yeah, we've got a couple more questions that have come through. Advice about saving yourself years of time. Well, I mean, I think the big thing you want to think through about advice is, hindsight is amazing. You know, it's easy to give yourself advice, but what I like the frame that I like for myself about getting advice is, if I could fast forward 5 years into the future, what would I say to myself? That has helped me out a lot. And by leaning into that and thinking, what would the older version of me say, especially when it comes to little things, like if they would just say, just get on with it, well, then that's good advice. Because half the time it's because we're wrapped up in the day-to-day, into the weeds of it, which that's what's holding us back from moving past, that next stage. So that kind of piece around, well, what would you give yourself as advice if you were 5 years into the future? That's helped me out a lot. What other things could we work through? Like I said, guys, if you want to ask anything in here, this is your time to do it. Cactus is just still absolutely hammering the likes. We're at 1.3k on the likes at the moment. So, I mean, question around like why we started the outdoor boot camp to start off. I mean, the big thing if I'm thinking about why I started an outdoor boot camp, first of all, it's because that's all we could do. When we were in COVID, there was no way that we were able to work within gyms, and so being the witty is the right way of saying it. I don't know, but being the kind of the budget conscious version of myself, I think I wanted to think like, well, how do we try and create a group training program that actually was able to run in COVID? And so the week, I don't know if you will remember, the week where you were suddenly allowed to train outside in groups, but you had to keep social distancing. That was the week that we launched our outdoor boot camp, and it was literally the only boot camp that was on for the whole of, I'd argue, the whole of like Nottingham in that point. And we timed it to the weekend that we could do it. And that was perfect timing, because not only had we hit the niche of being able to, to actually impact people's lives, well, we hit the niche of everyone had been stuck inside for basically 3 years. So we started as an outdoor one. Didn't cost us anything to launch it outside, which is obviously great when starting a business. 0 overhead costs. Everything that we brought into the business was pure profit, which again we could then reinvest back into future projects. At the time, I was just a PT, so at the time, just being a PT, everything just came back into myself, into investing into more kit for the team, and also basically just putting into more marketing to bring in more people and to hopefully impact more people. But it was just such low risk. And again, I think if we're trying to think about business advice and also just doing things in general, take calculated lower risks that are going to have a massive upside. Like, doing that, there was literally no risk to doing it at all. Why would I not have done that? So yeah, that's why we started outside first of all. Team, what else do we have? Cactus, how are you getting on still? Emily Green, how are you? Who do we have in here at the moment? Who do we have? Hilda, hello Hilda. Good to see you in here. Like I said, guys, this is your chance to ask anything that you want. And if you are interested, to make sure you do follow, because we're going to be keeping updated with all the lives as we move through forever. Robin, good to see you, Robin. Court Band, nice Court Band. Yeah, like I said, guys, Charles Willis. Yes, Charles. Good to see you back in here, mate. Well done. Sarah, how are you, Sarah? Happy Monday. What we all saying on this lovely, gorgeous Monday? The weather is looking, well, it's still actually really nice, the weather at the moment. I'm currently working through all the questions that have been thought through. Molly Boyle, hello Molly Boyle. Anything, user 912367. I'm gonna call you out here then, mate. What would you like to know? Are you running a business yourself? Are you looking to start a business? How can we help you out? Caitlin, good to see you, Caitlin. YZF, hope you are doing well as well. So yeah, user 912367. This is your time to shine, my friend. Chuck something in. What have you been wanting to do that maybe you've not quite started yet, or what are you running? I'd love to hear. Michelle Reedy, yes, Michelle, good to see. I know. Come on, user. Charles, how are you getting on, mate? Have you got anything going? Corey, yes, Corey. Hello, my friend. How are you, Corey? Yes. Charles, are you doing anything at the moment, mate? Lauren Cooper, yes, Lauren. How are you, Lauren? Wakey's in here as well. Hello, Emily. Yeah, no, Charles, basically what we've been going through is, I think, one, trying to help people start a business, first of all. Two, I think what is holding people back from either getting out their jobs, or 3, if you're slightly younger here, or still in school, how do you get to a position where, or what do you need to be working on while still in school to be able to start your own business? Because I think for a lot of what I've done, that's basically where I've been at, and so happy to kind of build onto this. Oh yes, Corey, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Good. I was here the other day when you asked me what place I don't like, and you said Liverpool. So Corey, now that you're in here, mate, what do you do for work, and do you have an aspiration to run your own business at some point? Okay, cool. Yeah, Charles, I would like to start a business, but I'm chained to the desk 9 to 5. Mortgage, expenses, etc. Difficult to move from that, mate. I fully feel you. Probably the most common thing that comes up, I'd say, especially when, even just speaking to friends at the weekend whilst watching the England match. So, Charles, if you could go and do anything, would it be something that you could do on top of your 9 to 5 initially, or is this something that you would like to potentially sidestep out of that, leave your job and move into your own thing? That's the big question. Because I fully appreciate, this isn't going to be a just quit your job and go thing. Big thing that we want to be actually thinking about is what's realistic to start. Yeah. Okay, right, cool. So the sidestep process when starting your own business, and I think because where I started as well with it, so when I came out of school and I walked pretty much into a full-time coaching job, it was like, well, how are we going to be able to basically navigate around it? And it's by picking things that you have already got the skills within. So Charles, what are you currently doing for work, mate? Just so I know, because I think this would be interesting to use you as a bit of a case study. Because trouble is, it's the same as when we teach people to train. If your training takes all your life, you're never going to be able to make it consistent. So, interesting, mate. Interesting. So, sales is the best type of role. Are you doing sales within a bigger company? What type of sales are you doing? Natasha Charles, good to see you in here. I like it. And Corey, what are you doing for work as well, mate? Sales is probably the best type of job to be in, because what you build through exposure to people. God, if you think about some of the shit you have to put up with, especially in B2B. My God, talk about building thick skin. But Charles, the skill set that you will have developed over time will be mad. Now, how then do we find a thing to, you said it there yourself, I would like to replicate my business model, basically. So that there is the gap. And when we're trying to coach through our coaches and talk about how we impact them and empower them, it's breaking that down. Because right now, I could imagine for you, Charles, to try and replicate the whole B2B business is going to be fucking mental. There's no way. To be able to start and think, well, where do I need to be by the long run? It's just no chance. So what do you do, Charles, that brings the company that you work for the most revenue? What is the specific thing that you think that you have the biggest impact on your company? Because I think that if we can pinpoint that gives us the basis to where you can go off and make all your money. Genuinely. Relationship, knowledge. Okay, cool. So you're a people person. Knowledge. Just for me, mate, when you say knowledge in the sense of you provide the knowledge, you know stuff that maybe other people in the company aren't as good at as you, because that's a key thing as well. If you have a skill set that nobody else has, you're basically unfireable. That's a huge thing. Because if nothing else, if we can angle for a pay rise, great, you may as well make as much money as you can out of these companies to at least kind of build the life that you want. Okay, cool. Right, so that's a really, really cool thing to have. Having the knowledge of an industry or market, and this goes for everyone who's watching as well, like having a knowledge of an industry or market that maybe other people within your industry would be jealous of is such a skill. Now it's how do we, one, use that to angle for a bit of a pay rise potentially in there. So Charles, how long have you been working at this company for? Nice guys, good to see you all in here. Love it. Working through some really cool stuff tonight. This is really cool. Got my mic all ready to go. Currently, I film from my YouTube at the same time. I just think it's the easiest way of doing it. Hit the live stream, do this. It's all good, all good. So how long have you been working at this company for? And, you know, to follow up with that, how many promotions have you had in that time that you've been working for them? Okay, cool. I like it. Mate, you it sounds like you're doing all the right stuff, to be honest. Now, if you kind of made that switch 6 months ago and you have got, or over this last 6 months, that you've basically now started to realise how invaluable you are to the company, this gives you a massive opportunity, because once you basically spot the things that you're really good at, we can now start niching down a little bit more. You know, like if you've already got 7 years of experience in this company, well, how do we basically blow this up a little bit more? Or how do we start creating those conversations, those relationships, to be able to go off and do this on your own? You know, is there an ability to do this after your 9 to 5? Is there an ability to teach other people how you got that knowledge? Because again, if we're thinking about what you've got, mate, which is really cool, if relationships and knowledge are your two key skills, then it sounds like you're going to be a massive people's person. And can you develop other people to basically get to where you're at? Because if you can kind of get what you're really good at to other people, like, you're going to be able to absolutely get people to fly. And it's, yeah, mate, it's a really cool position to be. Actually, I am 19. No, mate, I'm 28. Anyone that comments, I'm loving it. And do you know what? Yeah, Ashley. And this is the thing. It's finding these very small snippets that you can start to do. Because if you start documenting what you're doing and almost breaking it down to a point where, like, you can almost just get it out of your head, because there'll be things that you do that other people just won't know what to do at all. And so what often I do is, especially for yourself, Charles, though, at the end of the day, is just jump onto Claude, record a massive memo on your phone, and just dump it in, because what you're going to start building is a bit of a knowledge base, and it's that knowledge base. Mate, this is part of it. You need to find something that's going to inspire you. Because, like, yeah, you're fucked if you don't want to work hard, to be honest. But again, like, if you find something that, like, actually wants to inspire you, then the hard work will just happen. Like, it just will. And so I think, honestly, if nothing else, mate, you just make a start on just getting what's in your head out onto paper or onto Claude. End of the day, as soon as you get home, be like, right, what did I actually do to impact someone? Oh, sorry. I thought what I thought you meant was, how do you coach me to work hard? I was like, well, I don't know, to be honest. I don't really know. Like, so how do you coach someone on working hard? Well, I can give you two examples of this. I can do it in a kind of training point of view, in terms of, like, physical training, like, you know, what we do, personal training, or we can think about it in, like, a corporate style way. In terms of physical training, like, it's it's pretty simple. We need to link their goal to basically link their outcome to the work they need to do right now. So every single time that they don't want to do something, you basically fast forward them to the point where they're happy and they're loving the way they look, they love the way they feel, they're confident. You push it forward to that point and go, right, every single thing that you do here will impact that there. And that's it, basically. Especially when it comes to like a physical body transformation, that's how we would do that. When it comes to like the more corporate style, I guess it's going to depend on the person who you've got in front of you. So if you've got someone that works very well under strict accountability, well, for me, that is an obvious, right, well, how do we just drill in habits? We use a project management software called Asana to make sure we keep on top of people. And we have got very almost like strict guidelines to what is acceptable and what's not. And so when you are coaching someone on working hard, it's going to come from your standards anyway. Like if your standards of working hard are poor, well, you can only get the person to work as hard as what you're doing. And like the likelihood they're going to be 20% worse than you anyway. So it's basically going to have to be, you either raise your standards and then hold the person accountable to that. If they're there's someone that does want to be pushed every single time and held accountable. If there's someone similar to, as we were saying with the body transformation, well, then what we do is we link it to their goal. If their goal is to impact as many people as they can in their company, well, how is doing what you're doing right now going to impact that? And every conversation that you have has to link right back to that point. Every single time, every one-to-one, every meeting, every board meeting, every whatever it is, you link back and go, future pace it and go, everything you're doing right now gets you towards that point there where you will start impacting people. So again, like I said, there's two real ways where I found has done it. It's either the hard accountability or the forward linking, and actually everything comes back to the forward linking anyway. So hopefully that helps. Bella, my cat got my aunt's brother's pregnant who gave birth to a dog, and do you know what? I love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Whatever the hell that means. Andrew, hello Andrew, how are you, mate? Anything else, team? Anything else? We're at 1.3k likes. I think it's probably been up there. We're one of the biggest liked things we've done for a while. What's your biggest regret in business or something you wish you did sooner? Emily, wonderful question. Absolutely wonderful question. I'm going to take a moment to think there, because I think there's two parts to that question. Obviously, the biggest regret in business is very much, I'm going to answer that one in a second, is very much linked to the something you did sooner. However, they're interchangeable anyway. Okay, right, I'm going to split this up. My biggest regret has come down to two things. One, how I've hired and trained staff initially, because I think if I'd have been able to coach my coaches in the way that I am able to coach now, I think we'd have been absolutely unstoppable. And I think as a team, as a collective, we'd have been unreal, because also then we'd have had 3 more years of experience that basically we would have got to at this stage. So knowing what I know now, I'd have coached my coaches in the same way rather than just be mates, and they were amazing. Loved my coaches, but we were mates. I didn't know enough. I wasn't enough of a leader, so I wasn't able to develop them. My second regret, which is equally as important, is around my building. So our first gym was honestly, it was a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. We had no heating. You can imagine what that was like in the winter. No heating in the gym. I mean, yes, you can jump around and get warmer. We had no heating in the gym. The roof leaked. So obviously when you were training and you've got a leaking roof, what's going to happen? Imagine if you're doing a plank and you've got like water coming down on your head. It's not a great look, is it? So I wish, I don't even regret the building that we had. I wish we'd have done our due diligence. And when I say due diligence, I wish we went round initially to these buildings and had someone there helping us. A builder, just someone there to go, do you know what, Tom? That doesn't look right. That roof shouldn't be doing that. because we went to view this building in the peak of summer. It was amazing. Weather like this, blue skies, sun shining, birds tweeting. Walked into this building, probably rosy-eyed, and we were thinking, yes, that's the one. That's the gym for me. Oh, how we were wrong. And then it wouldn't have been hard for a builder or for anyone, basically any living adult, to come in and go, do you know what? Probably that's not right. So, yeah, my two regrets, as I said, were one around how I coach my coaches, because I do think I'd love to have the coaches that we had back then coaching us now, because they'd also be 3 years more experienced as well. Two, I'd love to have picked a better building initially. But yeah, the best thing about what now I know now is we've got an amazing set of coaches. They are so good. And actually, this isn't a regret. I can't have the regret. But I wish, actually, what I had is, when I started, I wish I had the coaches which I had now. If I had the team that I have now when we first opened the gym, oh my God. And we spent the last 3 years doing that. Like, if I had Emily, Coach M, in there when we first started, we would literally be flying. Like, we would be so much bigger as a gym than we are now, because Em brings so much experience to our team. She's an operator at heart. She's got this. I mean, when we first employed Emily, like, I was nervous going into meetings, and which is what I would, I'd recommend. You want to hire someone who's actually going to make you nervous, that you haven't prepared enough in a meeting. My God, she was insane. What a coach. What a person who's got the highest standards, and it made me level up quickly. Now, that's why it's not a regret, but like, I wish I had her from the start. Like I said, imagine what we could have done if she'd have been out from the start. Dylan, LFC for life, can you please follow me? Do you know what, Dylan? What are you going to provide for me if I follow you? That is a great question. That I think if you can provide me with some value, I will certainly drop you a follow, mate. Corey, how are you, Corey? Kitta, hello, Kitta. Team, I'm loving this. We've got some good questions come through. Eric Hammer, nice to see you, Eric Hammer. Wally Wood, yes, Wally Wood. There you go. How about this one? This is a good question. How do you keep going when it gets hard? I mean, I've got a simple response to that, and this is an Alex Hormozy one here. When it gets hard, you keep going. Because when it gets hard is when everyone else would give up. That's it. That's all I would say. That's literally, you just keep going when it gets hard, because that is literally the point. Like, everyone else gives up at that point, and that's the reason why no one's done it before, because it's hard. If it was easy, everyone would do it. So that's the point. You got to think, every single time it gets hard, you just keep going. You keep knuckling down. I was going to say, you bury your emotions. You don't bury your emotions. That's not the point. But you step back out of your emotions for that second and go, right, well, come on, what am I going to do here? How do I get through this? Because when you have that kind of frame in your brain basically saying that this is the point where normal people give up, you keep going, because you're not building something normal. You're building something for yourself. You're building something for your team. You're building something for the people in the future. Like, that's the point where you keep pushing. So I know that's difficult and it's hard to say, but again, just by reframing what you're saying into a point where it's like, I almost need it to get hard to prove to myself that I'm doing the right thing. Because if it's hard, then that means that everybody else isn't doing it. Sorry, I know that's quite a passionate way of saying that, but that's how I feel. Guys, we've probably got about 15 minutes left on here. 15 minutes left. Has anyone else got anything that they want to chat through with me? Any other thoughts? Any other feelings? I had a lovely chat through with people earlier. Mark McGregor, how are you, my friend? Good to see you in here. What else have we got? So yeah, any other questions? I am happy to answer. TT, yes, TT. Joe, come on, Joe. Look, good to see you in him. Good to see you. Like I said, there are questions that I've always got locked in that I can happily help you out with. I've already answered that big one around like how to bet on yourself without it all blowing up in your face. I'd say take small and calculated risks always. If you like I was speaking to Charles earlier, if you've got a full-time job, if you've got a mortgage, if you've got all these things that you know you're going to be responsible for, like just don't take huge risks. Be sensible with it. Don't don't take out a massive loan unless you know it's going to be an absolute banker. And again, how do we know it's going to be a banker? If you've got the evidence and if you've stacked evidence over time, then that's where. But like, don't take stupid risks. Slade, how are you, Slade? What does success actually look like for you? It's a great question. Really good question. Caitlin Lee. Hello, Caitlin Lee. How are you? But yeah, success for me, I don't actually know. I think this is a bit of a tricky one for myself at the moment because I don't really know what my success will be. I'm trying to I think success for me is always working towards something. And if I'm not working towards something, that's where I start to struggle mentally. And so success, I'd say right now, is being in the process of building something. That's what success would look like for me. What we got then? Chloe Jean or Chloe Jean, how are you? User 3, I'm not going to say that out loud. 38. Not an easy name to remember. What else do we have here? Heart and Butterfly, good to see you. How to turn a bad God, there's no way any other answers. How to turn a bad day around before it becomes a bad week. Oof. Yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to that. How to turn a bad day around. Well, I guess it's like, what's the consequence of you continuing to have a bad week? If you don't like the answer to that, well then stop having a bad day. You've got to find something that can pull you out of it. Now, for me, I've recognised in myself the way to get myself and actually force myself to get out of a bad mood is to speak to clients where I know that I have to almost force myself to be positive. That's it. That forces me to do it, because then when I get into that mood, then yeah, that's how I kind of almost then lean into the good mood. So you've almost got to find the thing that actually forces you to do it. And this is why having something you can work towards that actually you feel proud of and positive towards will actually help you. Do Dubai guys have a harder time losing weight? And that is a great question. Do you know what? I don't know if this is something that you want to know, but like, again, I don't know your background, I don't know anything about you, but like if you're transitioning from female to male, then you generally, and then you identify as male, it is likely you're going to find it harder to lose weight. So, yeah, bit of info for you on there. So, Graham, if that's helpful. I've not even answered your question. I don't actually know. Maybe. Gemma, hello Gemma, how are you? What have we got then, guys? We've got about sorry Graham, hopefully actually Graham, have you got any other questions that you want to ask me whilst you're on here? Because I'm sure if you ask me anything else, I'll be able to help you out. Jack, yes Jack, hope you're all good, mate. Yeah, honestly, just ask me anything, mate. It's not a problem at all, within reason. Asmat, hello Asmat. How much water? There you go. How much water do you drink in a day? Well, me personally, I mean, actually thinking about this here, this is my third one of these. So this is an 800 ml bottle, and so that's 2.4 litres. I have a pint in the morning as well. Probably have like a couple of fizzy drinks in there. So I'm probably getting up to about 3 litres a day. So about that. I think in the summer you need to drink loads. It's ridiculous, but like I think for some people, again, not medical advice, but like 4 litres a day. I mean, to be honest, if you're only drinking half a litre a day, just drinking a litre is going to make a massive difference to you. Massively. Anything else you want to ask, guys? We've probably got, like I said, about 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. We've been on here. It's been a decent little stream. It's been good. Plenty of questions answered. Like I said, this will go onto YouTube as well. Do you prefer fish or meat to make you full? I mean, again, for me personally, I'm definitely more meat. And that's just because I don't love fish. I like tuna. I don't mind some kind of like lighter fishes, but if I'm going to be able to pick for myself, then I'd always go meat. Like what I've done for my lunches this week, just because I've been crap on my food. Like, again, I own a gym, fine, but like I'm bad as everyone else with food. But I've got I cooked a load of like Chinese style pork on the barbecue last night, so perfect. That then will do me for a couple of days, where I can just put that in my pasta salad, and that's a nice easy way of kind of like keeping myself full at lunchtime, because otherwise I literally just snack all day. I'm fucking useless at it. Like I literally got no self-control at all. So yeah, meat for myself to keep me full, and also anything protein based is going to keep you fuller, way fuller anyway. Like it's something called like, basically it's just how satiating it is. So any high protein things, like if you were to ask yourself this at the end of the day, because this is where people, sorry, I know this is not business, like it's not business advice, but at the end of the day, if you had to, if you're snacking at the end of the day, would you rather eat a box of Maltesers or a chicken breast? Now obviously you pick the box of Maltesers. Now what would keep you fuller? If you had to eat a whole massive chicken breast, that's going to keep you fuller. So that's when we're generally recommending people when they're on like fat loss diets, is to just go high protein. So you like Chinese then? That must keep you lean because they aren't very big. No comment, Graham, no comment. I can only lean into the chat's humour. I cannot indulge any such thing. Guys, last couple of minutes, got about 4 minutes left on here. Like I said, if there's anything you want to ask, this is now your time. If you haven't followed yet, please make sure you do so. We're trying to make sure we get as many people and help as many people to do as we possibly can. Yes, Jay, hope you're all good, mate. Yeah, last 2-3 minutes here, team. Anything you want to ask me, this is your time. This is your time to do it. Enjoyed this. We've got a lot done. Got a hell of a lot done. It's been a solid stream. Got some good questions in there as well. Yes, Ariana, hope we are doing well. Queen of Scots is in the building as well. Like I said, last couple of minutes, guys, to ask me anything that you want to ask me. LJ, hello LJ. Timu Mark. I will take that every single day of the week, Queen of Scots. How are you anyway on this beautiful Monday? You've made my night on that one. Love it. Jan, yes Jan, how are you? Queen of Scots, you've made my night there. Absolutely made my night. Are you okay? Anyway, like you enjoying yourself? Paige, yes Paige, how are you? Joey. Yes, Joey boy. Great to see you all there tonight, guys. Good stream. Hope you all found it useful.